Okay, so let's start our seminar today. Sorry for the delay. We were in another appointment, but it's a pleasure to have everybody here. And we this week are receiving this wonderful professor from San Cyril, from Slovakia. The Professor Michael, Professor Alexandra, and Professor Magdalena. They are strongly related to game career. They have a game course undergraduate, and they make a lot of projects in the university. They are also participating in the Game Jam Plus, and they are here in Brazil also for the finals that we will have on Game Jam Plus this Saturday. So thank you very much. If you want to also keep talking a little bit more about you, please feel free. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so I will try to keep it on time. So I will just maybe some of the stuff. If you have like further questions, we are here for the next almost 2 weeks. So just ask and we can talk more. So my name is Michal Kabat, and today I will talk a little bit about game jams and how we use them. Because like was mentioned, the Game Jam Plus is something that brought us here. Like me personally, last year I was here for the first time for the finals, and now we bring some more people with from the teaching staff, and also some of our students will be joining us a bit later. So we are from the University in Trnava, which is a small city near the capital in Slovakia, and we are on the humanistic faculty under the media department, and there is communication, marketing, media literacy, and also digital games, which is quite not common because usually, as you already know, games are either on the artistic side or maybe the technological side. Being on the media, it's quite not really common. So that opens up a few possibilities for us, and we mainly focus on 3 things, which is like many things underneath, but 3 main things, which are like media production, games production, games consumption, like playing them and broadcasting and streaming and the media content stuff around, and then like the reflection, like studies, like how games are and how they should be and what are people using them for. So this is everything we do, and our students doesn't have any like specific one path to follow, so they can choose what they are like willing to spend more time on. And game jams are basically in the first part, but also the other. So in the beginning, when we started, we didn't really know like how to teach games because nobody was doing it before in Slovakia. So we just adapted the strategy that we will see, and we are trying like different approaches because when you study something that is quite recent and you don't have the like senior staff to tell you what to do, you have to figure it on your own, and that's what we did. This was kind of my personal motto when we did it. It's not coming from the Adam Savage who like uses it a lot, but it's coming from someone else. But the point is that like you can do anything basically and call it like research if you just write it down and analyze it. So basically all the time we were like talking to people, playing games and doing everything we can, and then thinking about it and making it like something we can teach. And this way we did our very first game festival that ran for 5 years, and then during the pandemic it became online, but not online like stream online, but we developed the digital games where people can meet and have this like festival feeling and do everything that they did in the classical festival. Then we started at the same time when the festival started. We started an eSport league for university students, which is some kind of a like senior league. If you think about like people 18 plus, it's not real like the real competition is much more younger people, but still there is enough attention for the university esports to this day. And we have an organization that has like 120 people playing games, and they think they're like getting better at the game, while in reality they're like getting like these social skills and everything they need for the proper teamwork, communication, and stuff like that. And also the people who are managing the organization are really the ones that will be profiting in the future in this field. We did it so good that Red Bull decided to build a gaming hub out of this room. They put some money so we can open the Red Bull Game Hub, which is like third in the world probably. I don't know about any other. There's one in London and one somewhere else. In Canada, yeah. And the one in Slovakia, in a very small city. So it was like weird, but it's working and.
Very random.
Yeah, you never know where. And when it comes to development, we in the first year of the when the studies were open, we founded very boldly a game development studio. There was like few people in it, and we didn't know really what to do. So we just started like doing something, but it wasn't much. And then we were invited to Poland into international cooperation project in the Erasmus funding grants, and there we developed games in like international teams. There were 10 teams for 10 days, and we really developed our first gaming prototypes. And from there, we just didn't have enough. We started doing the Global Game Jam, which is basically like all the Europe was already doing that, so we just joined them. And from then, we did like 50 more game jams, and we tried like different strategies to how to do it and how not to do it. And I want to share with you what we learned from this journey.
Nico, just sorry to interrupt you, but there are many people attending the seminar that are not from the gaming area. And I don't know if you're going to explain later, but maybe you can just give a clue about what is a game jam.
Yes.
Because perhaps many people don't know.
It usually looks something like this. I don't know if you can see, like a lot of people, small dark room, maybe large dark room. But usually people meet for the restricted time, which is usually 48 or maybe 72 hours. And they are trying to develop a game prototype. We don't call it a game because usually it's something like a small demo of something. And the fun part is that they need to do it on time. And we bring a lot of different stuff into it. I will talk about it later, like how to do it and how we did it. The goals of the game jam for us, as the faculty that is interested in developing games, is mostly for the people to learn how to manage time, resources, and expectations. Mostly the expectations, because a lot of people, when they come first time for the game jam, they don't really know like how much they can do, or they think on their like individual level how much they can do, but inside of a team that was just recently put together, it's you have to like really manage your expectation and not start big. And sometimes, most of the times, people won't do that, and we call it planned failure. You are like planned to fail, and you need to manage the like you can like fail gracefully. So you don't really hit the bottom that hard. And this is something you can learn over the time. When you go to the second and next game jam, then you probably know like what to expect and how to behave, and that it is important to sleep and many other things that are not that obvious for the first time. And of course, you will learn how to communicate with people better, or at least that's the goal, and how to work in a team, which is something that many young people doesn't have, especially in our faculty, because we get a lot of people from gaming, but it's like mostly players, not really people who like games overall, but they like to play games and they spend a lot of time in it. And sometimes they have some kind of team working skills, but mostly they're like solo players. So this is something that helps them to function better in the team. My main benefits are that during the course, when they are going to the game jams, they will develop different prototypes with different people, so they can put them in their portfolios and they can like get better chance at getting a job or getting some other like higher experience. So this is something that we found very valuable, and also they will like meet other people, make friends, and look around like which people will be good partners in the future for the projects and everything. So yeah, okay, that's basically the same thing. I will get to this, like how we do it. The game jam usually has this like same structure with us. We start on Friday. This is a weekend project because usually we have people from different years of the study and different faculties sometimes, and it's really hard to find during the week like time for such a long period. So we do it on weekends, and we start on Friday. We split people to teams. We will introduce the team and sometimes some kind of like obstacles or specifics for that particular jam, and then they have some time to like digest it and brainstorm a little bit, and then we will have this first round of presentations where they just really quickly just tell what are they going to do, and basically just to be sure that they have like complete team and they have everything they think they need to finish the prototype, and then they will work usually overnight, or some prefer to sleep and then work in the morning. We really want them to sleep because there is like a lot of studies that shown that if you sleep like less than 4 hours per day, it is the same as if you have 1 promille of drinking alcohol. So it can really mess with your decision making and overall communication skills. Sometimes it can be better, but it is without the like fun part of the alcohol. It's just bad things. So we usually want them to sleep at least something and drink water and everything. There was some content that they were afraid that this will be like staying overnight at the university, that people will be drinking and doing the stupid stuff, and that doesn't happen much, almost none, which is weird, to be honest. But
It's very boring.
yeah, it's like sometimes they like just come in and like, oh, they will party and everybody's just sitting working. Yeah. And then on the Saturday we will have a progress check. So we will check on the people, like how far did they manage to go, and we will adjust their expectations and plan for the last part. And then they will finish the games and present it. The presenting itself is very important for them because they will like develop these presentation skills, and also that's the proper time to like really do some evaluation of like who did what and what happened and why this not why they didn't do what they planned to do. Yeah. When we were developing this course, one of the main inspiration was one course that is running like from the 90s. It's called Designing Virtual Worlds. It was developed by Randy Pausch at the Carnegie Mellon University, and they did it for the VR, but like older versions of VR before it was like openly public. And they did basically the same thing, but over a longer period, and we adapted a lot of the rules and the different strategies from them. If you haven't seen it, go definitely see the Randy Pausch last lecture. It's kind of like a motivational kind of set listening, but it's really like powerful message. And there is like a lot of details on how to do stuff like this the proper way. One of the funny things we adopted and we will do from the next year is that at the first game jam, they will teach the students how to juggle with the balls, because it's I don't know, but it worked for them, and they say that it is a really fun and easy and quick way to show people that they can learn something new really quick, like quicker than they thought. And also it's like something else that they will be doing for the rest of the weekend, so you can use it as a break between the work. Yeah, that's something. Yeah, it was tricky for us from the beginning, because we implemented it as a part of the study. So we have to create it somehow. Like, all the people need to get grades for the attending of the game jams, and we decided over the time to abolish the traditional grading from A to FX, because it didn't make much sense, because people were always asking, like, what do I need to do to get an A? And they weren't really willing to go up, even they could. And also some in the like overall scale, but most of the people will be like spread much longer. That some will be like A++, and some will be like M to P. So we decided just to get an like attendance check that they were there and they will learn something. But we did some kind of evaluation and feedback. The main thing we adapted from the Randy Pausch program was I call it like teamwork coefficient or something like that. And it is calculated from only one simple question everybody will be getting at the end of the game jam, and that is will you work with that person again if you have the opportunity to choose. And from that you can extrapolate the best team players and the people nobody likes. At the end, you will know where you are. We don't publish the names, but they will know where they are based on the numbers they will get. And the other thing we tried sometimes, and with mixed results, was that we were trying to see what's the value of that particular person in that team. So at the end of the game jam, we will have a voting, and depending on the placement of the teams, they will get some of virtual money, like 10,000 and 9,000, 8,000, and then they have to split the sum between the people who were working on it. And this was fun experiment, but it was kind of copying the existing pattern in the industry. So the coders will get much more money because that's how it is. And it wasn't really helpful in getting the grades, because they didn't like more work, but they did different work. And sometimes also it was difficult to see who is the producer or manager in that team, because usually it was the coder, because he decides what he is able to do, and if he decides not to do it, then everybody else is out of work basically. So that was the tricky part, and we were trying to figure out how to properly do the producer role in the game jams. This is something we are still kind of trying to figure out, but we have something I will tell you in the end. The other big challenges were that it is a voluntary subject. You don't have to take it if you are completely the game study program. And sometimes people really hesitate to attend this class, because they see it as they don't have much to bring to the table, and it works in the other way as with the Dunning-Kruger effects, which is the less you know, the more you will talk about it. And this is the reverse thing. The more people usually know, the less they believe in themselves, and they don't want to really try it. And people who don't know nothing, they will be just okay, I can try it. So we are really trying hard to convince people that it's a good thing, and the sooner you start, the better results you will have in the end. And it's something that many people studied. Even the organizers of the Global Game Jam, they even published a book about it, what to tell people to make them attend the game jams. there are some.
I can confirm because I was organizing game jam.
What's the?
The you can.
You can.
Yeah, it's the I think that like the less you know about one subject, the more are you willing to talk about it, and the more you know, the less.
Always wanted to try that.
You personally?
Yes.
Because the more you know, the more you know you don't know
Yes.
about it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I try to avoid it.
Platon czy Socrates podobnie przed
not sure.
Plato or Socrates told I know I don't know nothing.
Yeah, and that's the like
Yeah.
top of the like knowledge you can get. Not sure we are like different department. Yeah. So there are like two more challenges we're willing to address, and that are like more international, and we can talk more about them. First is that we will try to get like younger people under the age of 18 to attend the jams, because usually most of the game jams have this like 18 plus rule. Even nothing like really 80 plus is happening there, but it's going overnight and everything. So it is difficult to get the parents to allow it. Although I think it's not that difficult, but people just don't try it. So I mean, for the Game Jam Plus, it is a rule, because if you win, you will have to travel to Brazil from Europe, and that is something like you need to do with parents or someone else, and that's why they don't have it. But we can have it on the other levels, and specifically Global Game Jam has these like Global Game Jam Next, which is specifically aimed at younger people. So we will try this for the first time this year, and also we are trying to figure out. I mean, like we tried it all during the pandemic, but after that, nobody really figured out something better, like how to do the hybrid part of the work. Like many people, even in our game jams, are always asking, "Can I work from home?" And we are like, "Well, you can do that on your own time, because this is something we are doing here, and you applied for it." But we get the idea of like people wanted to work from home, and also sometimes the necessity if they are like dislocated or something like that. So we are trying to see how it will be working, and we are really willing to try international game jamming with people from probably Brazil, Malaysia we have on board, and Slovakia, which is like neatly spaced, so we can do the handovers, it's called. So you can have like the shifts, and they meet there, and they will talk like, we did that, and you need to do that, and kind of like continue the work. We will see how it will work. That's some plans for this year, and yeah, sleeping all the time.
At least he sleeps.
Yeah. And yes, and this is for the game jam part, which is like you start on the Friday, finish on the Sunday, and then forget it. And this was something we did for 5 years, and it was a lot of nice experiences, and not a lot of fully functional games. And we decided that we need to have some like continuation. And sometimes we did force students to like develop the project further, but it wasn't really working, because usually the initial idea is not very great, and the team itself, it's like really not right to work for a longer time. And that's when we found the Game Jam Plus initiative. It was last year, and we decided to try it for this subject. I don't know if you know about it, but the Game Jam Plus structure is it basically starts with this Game Jam that is in October, and you develop a prototype over the weekend in a team, and then the incubation part starts. So you further develop the game, and then there is semifinals that are divided to continents. We have like European semifinals, and from there only few teams will be continuing to the acceleration phase, where you not only continue developing the game, more like polishing it, and then you will have this like business part of the development, where you're trying to sell the game actually to the investors, or at least prepare the package to sell it. And it has all the thinking about like for who is for what kind of player is this game, and how can it be monetized, and things you usually don't think about during the game jam. So this is the acceleration part, and we found even some like local third parties that are willing to get some money if the game is really good. So this is something that is still developing. And then there is a grand final, which is this Saturday here in Brazil, where you will see the like world best game jam game. And we decided to adapt this structure, and it was, I don't know, it's coincidence or it was like original plan, but it is still quite fitting with the study semester length in Europe. You have bit different, but for us it's perfect, because we started in October. Then there is still like 12 weeks until January, where one semester ends, so you can do some kind of evaluation, and then you continue with the acceleration part throughout the second semester, and it ends in May, which is perfect. And then you send everything, and you will have the time to prepare for going to Brazil, probably. That was the original idea, and we did it this year, and it worked quite nice. But we completely forget that people are not really ready to be in a team from the beginning, because back then we did another thing. It was called Mixer, and this year we will put it back to the like junior part of the program. So the first 2 semesters will be just preparation for the Game Jam Plus, and then the next 2 semesters will be like the proper thing. And the Mixer was it is the part that was inspired with this Randy Pausch. And it is basically you go to the place, and you will be like randomly assigned to the team, and there will be there will be some from easy to hard, like progressing level of difficulty, which means that the first team for the game jam will be probably like you have to develop a game. It only uses 2 colors and 1 button to control, and that narrows your like thinking and brainstorming to really simple ideas. And then you will develop the prototype. On the next, there will be some like more complex thing, and this way you will slowly progress in thinking about prototyping, and also you will meet different people and think about like next year I want to work with this person, and I want to avoid this one. So this is something we do for the first semester, and then there's a global game jam, which is like kind of for the people to catch up if they don't have enough points for attendance or something like that. They will just go to the global game jam. And then there is the second semester, and second semester is called Measure, and it's kind of experimental thing with it. And it goes like all the people will be again randomly assigned to the teams and working on one team on the first game jam, and then there will be voting, and all of the games will be like rated, and half of them, like this lower half, will be like this abandoned, and people from those teams will have to join the teams that will continue, and this will happen 3 times in a row. And in the end, there will be just like one big team, and usually it's like complete mess, because if you are a coder, you can imagine like how difficult it is to like implement other coder into already running project, especially if the first project is not really like ready for that kind of environment. So it is funny, and sometimes during the process, the game is like reworked completely from the beginning because you have enough people to do it over a weekend. So this is something more of a manager skill exercise. And also you can get people who are like really good, but and on the like lower half, the people from the senior level can take them to their team for the global game jam product. So it's kind of a, if you imagine in sports, it's like drafting system. If you see a like rising star, you can have it on your team. So this is what we will be doing the next year, and the senior level, this is as I already explained, the game jam plus structure, basically starting with one game jam and then developing. And they're meeting on the same times with the students that are doing the game jams, so we can see the progress and use them for testing, and also keep some kind of rhythm to the development, because people tell, yeah, we will work on it, but usually the most of the work is happening like before the testing. So we decided to make it a rule, so you can go to the game jam with them, and we call it like a crash, basically, like really speed running the stuff you were supposed to doing over the 2 weekends in that weekend. So crunching for them, crunching. And these crunches help them to develop better the game, and the results are already there, because Slovakia this year has the most team that were advancing to the finals from the whole Europe. It's a small country, but the like success rate was much higher than on the other places because of this structure. And yes, this is the game from last year we developed, and we won 2 prizes at the finals. One for the narrative and the other for accessibility. And this year they continue to develop it, and they get some funding around, like, how much was it? 27,000 euros from the national agency. So it is working, and we will continue trying it and getting more investors on board, and trying to make stronger like this European part, because it's still quite small compared to Latin America. I don't know how much it took me to go through this, but yes. Now we have some time for discussion, questions, and
All right, so let's first thank the speaker. And, we have some time for questions. And I have some questions.
We have one question from the online audience.
All right.
How we can develop virtual reality games with accessibility in education?
What's the last part?
No,
How can we develop virtual reality games
With accessibility.
with accessibility for educational purposes?
In education.
Oh, well, that's something we are trying to find out this year. Because recently we got a lot of hardware finally. It was a long process. And now we are really starting to do, we don't call it games. Usually they're like experiences for the VR. And a lot of them is for the special needs and education and stuff like that. But how to do it, it's beyond my knowledge at this time. To sum it up.
That's a very complicated question. Actually, it's a very good and complicated question.
Yeah, if the person has some already experience and they failed, that's something we can discuss.
Yeah.
If there is possibility. But as for now, we have some ideas how to do it. To be sure, it's not very much different from the traditional development. I would say, from my experience, it's even easier, because a lot of fun is already in the feeling to be immersed in some environment and interacting with stuff. That already can be fun, and then you can add some ideas to it. But it's much easier to get people. My first game, when I was doing, developing myself, it was for VR. It was like 6 years ago, and it was like makeover of a Pac-Man. You had the,
Snakeman.
yes, Snakeman. You had the ball on your head, and it was like crunching chips that were like snakes that were flying around. The idea comes from episode of Simpsons when Homer is flying in the space, and he's like,
That doesn't seem too educational.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, but
I don't think that, for example, in Slovakia, I don't think right now it's an option for the formal education to develop games in VR or for VR because schools they don't have the equipment.
yeah,
So
that's,
we as a faculty we cooperate with the game development studio which focuses on educational games. They only make games for mobile phones
yes,
because
yes.
everybody has a smartphone.
Yes, and also it is not really all the headsets that are like currently developed and sold. They are from the adult people. You cannot really like officially use it for children, even though it is possible. It's not recommended. So
You can make educational games for VR, but I don't think in our country it will be used because also teachers are older and older, and they don't know how to use new technologies. This is also a
yeah,
problem.
but then there will also
Globally.
Yeah, it's global.
Problem, right?
yeah, but there is also a legal problem that you cannot really force children to use VR because it's not totally tested, and also I think the main reason is that there is a like pupil distance, and it's too much for them, so they will like
Right.
and you cannot do that for a long time without.
There is a funny, since you mentioned this, there's a funny episode that happened with us when we were in the develop and the discovery house. A very young child started to use the head mounted, and when he says, "I am scared of dark." Give up. I
Yeah.
can't use it.
Many things can happen. Yeah, eventually we will get there, but
There's more questions online, so let's keep on.
Okay. How to say that?
MMORPGs, massive multiplayer.
Yep.
Developing this is the dream of most game devs. However, I believe it's the most expensive game to build. Is it possible to build a game of this type of success without being in a large company?
depends on the scale, because we did it for let's say like 100 people. 100 people can play that at one time. If you want to like scale it for the large market, it won't be possible probably with our resources. But it was possible to make like some small scale demo version of the thing.
And if we could build a small number of roles with Sword, like Sword engines, so it's possible. So,
Yeah, it is, now it's easier and easier
it's
because
not easy, it's
Yeah.
possible.
yes, yes, but you have like a lot of like pre-made stuff or like plugins for example, in our MMORPG, it was possible to communicate with the other people, and that was like 5 clicks. We just imported the plugin, ran it, and it was working. And the whole thing was running on one gaming notebook on the university server room, so it's like easy. It's possible. Yeah.
It
There's
was a
more.
miracle.
There's more questions.
Is there a kind of that jump here in Brazil? If it is, where?
This is not a gamer, a gaming career. No. Okay.
Yes, there are like more. I mean, there are probably many I don't know about, but there are definitely these Game Jam Plus like locations. There are like few of them actually.
Yes, Niteroi and UFF has teams participating in the Global Game Jam.
Yes.
Actually, there are 3 teams that are in the finals
Yes.
from UFF.
So it is definitely happening, and if you look around the Game Jam Plus, it will pop up some places. And also, I believe that the Global Game Jam is
The Global Game Jam is very heavy here in Brazil, and actually, the second largest Global Game Jam spot
Mhm.
is in the south of Brazil, in Paraná. And they are achieved the Global Game Jam around 400 and something participants in the same location.
So these are like two main
Yeah.
events. One is
But that's in PUC, Paraná. Sorry.
yeah,
It's, in Curitiba, south of
it's interesting that even there it's like in that numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. And these are like two main events. One is October, one is January. So there's like half year in between. And then if you go to like itch.io website, there is like hundreds of game jams every day.
Hundreds of thousands. Oh, every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands.
There are many like online, and you
Yeah.
can like choose to your liking
Yeah.
and try to participate. Yes.
I have a question that maybe I think that in the following years, perhaps even this year, we will have a very, a lot of impact on the game jams because of the generative AI tools that are coming up. So this week I was taking a look on Unity News, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I saw how fast we can do a lot of things that maybe will enhance a lot the productions that are being done in the game jams.
Yeah.
Right?
In the beginning,
Because
probably
it took 3 hours to develop the AI of a chart, and now it's
yes.
1 minute.
Yes, in the beginning, I believe the like Dunning-Kruger will take charge, and all of the people who are like willing to try stuff will do a lot of stupid things, and then maybe some people will take it and do something better. I don't know. Probably that will be. Many people will see it like much easier to try to do something with these tools, but only few probably in the beginning will be able to do something interesting, like better than we already have.
Didn't you have a game jam that was aiming using these tools as well?
No, especially we are trying to especially the artistic side is struggling. The coders they are like already on it, no problem using it. But the artists sometimes struggle with the idea that it is just like another tool and not something that will like replace them in the future or something like that. And we are trying to show them like how to work with it ethically, properly, and effectively, and to their goals. So they can use like more of their own style like faster, because that will be something that will put them off work probably.
And another last. I'm sorry.
My question was a little bit separate from the HPS. Do you have any direct effects because of the neighboring war in Ukraine?
Yes, there are like many Ukrainian people coming to our, not especially to our university, because they are mostly aiming like to more Western countries or for the technical universities. But we have some. It is welcome because they are quite good at teaching Slovak, because it's really like almost the same. Learning Slovak is really close, but not in the game industry as such. Probably there are some like workers that are already skilled in what they do, so that they can find some jobs. But again, more in the Poland or Germany on the more like developed markets. But yes, and like overall, yes, there's a bad feeling about like having war on the borders. But this is the something that we see, that like a lot of people are fleeing this way and looking for like new possibilities to work and do something in the industry.
Because we helped last year, we helped Ukrainian conference organizers.
Yes,
You guys could gain.
also they're like relocating part
Yeah,
of the events and trying to do it like outside the Ukraine. But right now it's like most of the Ukraine is not directly in like war zone, so they continue doing things like Kiev is like perfectly capable of like doing, but you never know. It can change any day. But they're like having all the events, not all the events, but most of the events are like restarted and trying to do it again. And then some of the studios like relocated, but mostly to Prague, not Slovakia directly.
So,
I have a question.
wondering about this issue. Games are multidisciplinary.
Mhm.
And I was thinking about what are the requirements for a student to start developing a game? Because there are lots of things around the product
Mhm.
associated to the game. For example, music, narrative, history, philosophy, whatever.
From my experience, I would say more like it's not even my experience. It's like research that says that the most important skills in the digital era are soft skills, not what you do and what you can do, but if you can do it like with other people, and if you could use the like proper tools to it. So that's something we are teaching. We are not actually teaching like we teach Unity, but only the basics. If you really want to do it, then you have to find some challenge and opportunity and took it and do it. And that's something we are trying to do as much, like motivate people to do projects, because we don't believe that it is possible to teach it like step by step, like it used to be. Like over the 5 years, you will learn how to use Photoshop and then you will use it for the rest of the life. It's not happening. This changing too quickly. So we are working more on developing of the soft skills and teamwork and communication
Time management.
and time management and this kind. And even like a if you're asking for money and to know how much is your worth, that's something that's not easy even for me and many people.
But we do have subjects on these topics as well,
Yes.
like regarding music and all
And-
those.
Yeah.
Yes, but they're especially for what we are aiming to do is we are trying to raise like generalists, people who are like who know stuff about some areas but just the basics, so they can manage people in this area and not look stupid when they're asking something.
And I have another question. What's your opinion on gamification?
Well, there are many like opinions, and we are like working on it. We did even some research in this area, but the one thing that for me stuck the most in my head is that the gamification shouldn't like fix the problems with the stuff you are gamificating. If the stuff in the beginning is not great, any badge won't help it.
Yeah. My own experience is with language APPs, language
Mhm.
applications. There are many nowadays that go into the direction of the gamification.
But you can think that the game jams are kind of gamification process because
of the game making.
right?
Gamification of work.
It's a hackathon, the same hackathons, and they are kind of gamified processes.
Now we are in the process of gamifying the whole study like program in order to promote the like extracurricular activities, because people
Right.
not always want to attend them, and sometimes they are lost in the like communication network and everything, so they need like to take a quest and then be notified about the progress and stuff like that. The language learning is mostly, it's sometimes gamification on the edge of the abuse. It's like Sometimes.
I think it's hard to find a balance between the game part
Mhm.
and the freedom of learning.
Yes.
Sometimes you go too much into the game, the
Mhm.
competition, getting the points,
Yeah.
and you lose the aspect of learning with more freedom.
Yes.
This is my own experience, and people lose many time trying to accomplish the targets in the
Mhm.
game, and
Yes.
then they lose the real target, which is trying to learn something.
Yes.
Whatever if the application is perfect or not, has problems or not. But I think there is this aspect that sometimes people get stuck with the game, not with the learning process.
Mhm.
And it's really hard to find this balance of how to guide people to learn and at the same time make the process fun.
Yes, because basically what you are doing when you're gamifying a thing, in a probably at least ethical way, you are building addiction, because you need to raise the motivation to learn, and sometimes it does this thing that you are like doing it for the thing itself, but not for the original purpose. Yes. that can happen.
I showed my mother Duolingo because she
Yeah.
retired recently and she doesn't know what to do with her free time. I show, and she loves it because she can learn actually English because she doesn't speak English at all. But the other day she asked me, "Mom, do I have to play it every day?" Because she's older, her brain works different ways, and she can't remember all new words and everything. I told her, no, you don't have to be. It's just for the game. That it notifies you that you should, but you don't have to.
I had
But it can be
I had the same
annoying.
experience. My mother, I introduced her to this activity that we went, and sometimes she complains that all people do lots of points and they can't achieve the same level of
Yes.
points. And other times she says, "Oh, I got a lot of points, but I'm not learning because I'm forgetting the words." And then I found out this process is happening because sometimes people are targeting too much the competition, but there's a ranking, and then people start just going for the numbers,
Yes.
and they forget doing the lessons the way they should, their own pace. And
Yes.
I think if they do this way, probably it won't work to lose the meaning.
And gamification doesn't solve everything, especially in education.
Yes, it also depends on the mechanics. If you are like going for the addiction, then you can do it. Like people will be happy to get points for just logging in, and then doing some stupid part, or they will find some way to like how to do it without the like actual stuff you want. Players are especially good at finding like workarounds. So in the end, you sometimes miss the point of the.
Your game mechanics should fit with goal of the education or goal of the application.
Yeah.
For example, I use the application Smoke Free because I used to be a heavy smoker, and I don't like gamified apps, but this helps me out because I see how many days I haven't smoked. Yeah, it's the main purpose of not smoking to blast it, and this is, I think, the good example of good gamification.
Might not work for everyone, but certainly good.
And it shows you how you save your lungs.
For example, I had issue during COVID that people were attending online classes, but they weren't really present. Like you could see that they were on the screen, but they were probably somewhere away. But so then I decided to implement Second Life into my class, and they became avatars. And all of a sudden, you could see that their avatars are moving all the time. That means that they are actually present. And I could see that everyone was really attending the classes, and they were playing with their avatars. And one time they looked like Pikachu, another day like some ninja or something. And they were fully engaged, like within the course. So we stayed that way, and I no longer have students, I have avatars on my class.
Yep, and one of the
And
research.
that works.
Yeah, it works. And one of the research we are actually trying to get funding for, it's based on this idea of like when you're listening to a lecture and you are doing something like playing these mindful games when you just like jump on the platforms or just collect coins or something like that, then you can like keep your mind active and listen better to the stuff you're trying to listen to. So it's better than just take away everything from people and make them like focus on nothing. Because they will do something else. So we have to just replace it with something that doesn't take that much of a cognitive functions. We'll see. Maybe it won't work.
Maybe we won't be fun.
I think we are on time. Finish? More questions online? Huh? Okay. All right. But actually we are a little bit.
Yeah, we can continue somewhere if you are interested.
Thank you again, Meko, Magdalena, and